Understanding Donald Trump, Part 1, Economics of Suffering. America is divided into two kinds of people. I am not talking about the divide that is so obvious. The white America and the rest, including blacks, Hispanics, Asians, and other minorities. I am talking about the divide between those who are struggling and those who do not see that struggle. This is not a divide that is created today or in the last decade. This divide has been there for generations and centuries. Not only America, this is a divide that is eating every Western society from the inside. When we talk about inclusion, social cohesion, uniting and strengthening America, and communicating to the world how great America is, we do not talk about this divide. What a shame. This should be the divide we should be talking about first, and before we even start talking about skin colors, races, and faiths. The reason behind that is that the struggle of a downtrodden white man is elementally not so different from that of a black man in a similar condition. We do not struggle because we are black or white or brown or yellow. We struggle because something is wrong with the system and we have no control over it. This year, 2024, when the presidential election is upon us, offers us a real opportunity to think about that divide. We need to think really hard. We need to look at ourselves honestly before deciding who to vote into office in the November election. Americans that are hurting and struggling for some time are hurting now more than ever. When you go to your nearby stores and look at the price tags of the commodities you need for your and your family's day-to-day survival, you know what I'm talking about. You know you are hurting, you are struggling to fulfill the bare demands of life. Now, how are all these connected to Donald Trump, real Donald Trump? You see, the prices are high because the inflation is high. The inflation is high because the energy price is high. The energy price is not high because of higher energy consumption across the world, but because of the immense uncertainties arising from the war in Ukraine. It is known that the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries cut production in different phases to create a balance between supply and demand in the market. So it is not high energy consumption. We understand that much. The high energy price, on the other hand, is funding Russia's war in Ukraine, as one of my commentators on a previous video recently mentioned. With a low oil price, Russia would not have a well-functioning war chest like it now has. It would have thought twice before planning any military incursions into Ukrainian territories. A high oil price has also brought China and Russia closer. China needs cheap oil to keep its monstrous economy functional. At this moment, that oil can come from Russia. It will come as long as Russia can offer oil at a price cheaper than the market. President Biden has never made an effort, not even an iota of it, to bring this war to an end. If he thought the United States was the guardian of the world and that it had to lead the world in international affairs, he would have made a decisive effort to stop it, or at least not to escalate it. Instead, he has funded this war by providing every material support that he could to Ukraine, forgetting you who are struggling at home to pay your bills and put together your meals. For President Biden and his fellow Democrats, you do not exist. They do not see your struggle. Biden has given billions of dollars to Ukraine since the war began. Where did that money come from? It is the money that the U.S. does not have. It is called debt, national debt. In other words, it is known as printing money. The more money is printed, physically or digitally, the higher the inflation rises. The higher the inflation rises, the prices of goods in your stores rise even more. The more the prices rise, the more you struggle, as if you have not been struggling enough. The truth is, your struggle will not end anytime soon. The debt is taken against your future. It is added to the burden you already have and are struggling to handle. You will pay for it for the rest of your life. Then, your children will pay for it for the rest of their lives. You see, eliminating the American debt could take decades. The government could hike taxes to do that. Biden may call a tax hike if he is elected again. In that case, who will struggle more, you or those who do not see your struggles? Today you have a high interest rate and therefore a high mortgage and rent. Tomorrow you'll have high income taxes. You have nowhere to hide. The government could also cut spending. If that happens, you will be the one who will suffer more, not your well-off fellow Americans. There will be less job opportunities for you. Businesses will fail, houses will be foreclosed, financial institutions will feel the pinch and collapse. There will be austerity at every level of the government, including the ones conducting any welfare programs. Your counterparts will find a way to put their lives in the right financial path. Maybe they have savings, assets, and education. Maybe they have a specific expertise that you don't have. You are broke, poverty-stricken. You will continue to struggle. If elected again, President Biden will redouble his efforts to fight Russia's Putin. He has a mandate, he will say. Is Putin going anywhere? The Kremlin has already stated that they prefer Biden to Trump. For them, Biden is predictable. When in a complex world like ours, unpredictability is a strength, not a weakness. Putin has no respect for Biden. He does not think the current American administration can challenge him in any meaningful way other than sending thousands of Ukrainians to fight America's proxy war. The war will continue on and on. More issues will get attached to it, so it will get more brutal than it is today. Russia's plan is not to overtake Ukraine in a military or political coup overnight. It seems they plan to dismember Ukraine chunk by chunk. They do not want President Volodymyr Zelensky dead. They want him alive so that they can make a deal with him. At the moment, there is no indication that they will not succeed. But your war is not in Ukraine. Your war is here, at home, in America. Your war is in your neighborhood streets, where you meet other people who are struggling like you. Your war is at the church, marketplace, community centers, schools, and convenience stores. Your war is with your present and your future. Your war surrounds earning your eventual freedom to govern your life and everything related to it, and strangle the endless struggle that you have been subjected to. So far, only President Donald J. Trump, the Republican candidate, has shown a real desire to end the war. He has talked about it openly, many times, during the primaries. I truly believe he can stop it. He has the energy and capacity to do that. Besides, he does not have a problem reaching out to his enemies, even physically, to make sure an enmity does not continue or escalate into hostility, and that people don't die as a result of maintaining the status quo. He has the moral superiority to stand before European leaders who don't want to pay for NATO, but still want it to confirm their national security. President Donald Trump does not care if he is considered uncivil or selfish when he talks about America first, something President Barack Obama could never do, and President Biden will never do. You need a protector, not a preacher in the White House. You need someone to go every inch for you sincerely. You hate artificial politeness to stand between your happiness and suffering. President Trump has already shown that his people must be served first before serving others. Look at this picture. Just look at it. When did you see Barack Obama or Joe Biden going into conflict with Europe like this? European leaders are not happy with President Trump. Looks like they could eat him alive. But you and I know they are defaulters. They do not pay their fair share of the cost of nourishing a huge organization like NATO. Let them spit fire at him, but let President Donald Trump not take even a step backward. Any American voter who understands the significance of the moment depicted in that photograph should not have any doubt about President Trump's dedication to the people of the United States. The American president does not need to apologize to the world for leading a nation like America, but the American president must apologize to millions of Americans who are going through hardships. When world leaders are angry with you, you know you are doing something right for America. They are angry because they don't get from you what they want for their people, what they took for granted for decades. You don't give them what they want for their people because you want to keep it for your own people, for Americans. In November 2024, you have the opportunity to make a decision that will have a long-lasting effect on America's future. You can prolong your struggle or instead make an active effort to reduce it and eventually terminate it. As I said before, take a good look at yourself, your life, and what you want your future to be. Then decide who to elect as your next president and commander-in-chief. Remember, your struggle is real. It is here. It is living with you right now and getting worse by the moment. On the contrary, Ukraine is not real for you. Not at this moment. Ukraine is a concept that Democrats want to sell to the world at the expense of you. America needs to be taken care of. You need to be taken care of. Ukraine will be real to you when your struggle ends, not before that. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment and subscribe to the channel to watch the second part of Understanding Donald Trump. Goodbye.